All right, here we are. Welcome to our very first inaugural episode. Whether you may or may not hear this, could be a treat coming in yours. I don't know. We'll find out. Just want to go around the room and introduce ourselves. You have tuned in to Put It In Your Head podcast, but we want to talk a little bit about ourselves, at least our names. My name is Dan. I'm going to be one of the voices you hear a lot because I love the sound of my own voice. I'll hopefully shut up a lot in time for you.
I'm Brittany, and yeah, hopefully I can get a word in over here. This guy with the beard, he kind of likes to, I don't know.
Okay, shut up. That over there, we're hearing from...
Hi guys, I'm Andy. I fiddle with the knobs and the buttons, so...
That's right. And he
I don't talk
job.
much, but have a good night.
All right.
Like a voice from God, from above.
All righty. And then we also have in the studio with us today...
We have Anna, and I'll be keeping tabs on all our social media. Find us Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we got it.
That's right. She keeps us in line, too. So it's on her. If we,
Don't you know it.
If we screw up, blame her. So we're gonna be tackling everything, and the cool thing about this is there's really no central theme about our show except learning. We just want to. This is really an excuse to get behind the doors that normally people wouldn't open and say, "Hey, show us how you make that candy. Hey, show us, tell us your good story about to Bigfoot. It's gonna freak us all out."
Or are you into anything that's kind of weird to other people? Yes, talk to us about it. Like, you have a fetish, you're a furry, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know why you like that. Let's talk about it.
I got
have you on the show.
Yes.
I got some people that's a relative of mine who's into healing and energies and crystals. Totally down for us to come check it out. So I'm
Heck yeah.
welcome to go look into stuff like that. So this we're also going to take your ideas for topics, build future shows around them. So you can reach out to us on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, which is at PIIYH show. Or email PIIYHshow@gmail. And sorry, correct on the Twitter at PIIYH_show.
I was going to say, that doesn't look
written
right.
on here in the
Just
thing.
find us on Facebook.
Yeah.
That'll be the easiest.
Connects to everything
Oh,
else.
the Book of Faces.
Yeah,
we depend on it, so...
We all love the name, but it ended up with an unfortunate acronym of not rolling off the tongue. Of
I know, I was like, that's why I was letting you say it. PIIYH. Those are letters.
So that's the show in a nutshell. If there's something you're just interested out there, want to know more about, hey, we probably want to know more about it too. Send it, and we'll do the digging. We'll do the cursory research. We're definitely not experts in any of these realms, but we have fun learning. And we'll go out on location. We'll have interviews here in the studio. We're gonna have video going on for YouTube. It's just a little bit of anything and everything. So
and
super excited
hopefully
for
we'll
this.
be able to do Skyping with folks.
Yes, doing calls in,
We'll
with
call
interviews
in,
and Skype.
interview people. I love
That's
it.
another person I have to share my airtime with. I'm not sure if I'm okay with more people taking my voice time.
Yeah, but then you get to hear weird, interesting, cool stuff.
Fine.
You said you like to learn.
I know. I just really like me. So today's topic is the PCT, or the Pacific Coast Trail. We picked this one because it's in our own backyard. It's something interesting. It's one of those things, as you learn more about, it just gets cooler and cooler. You're probably aware of this from the Reese Witherspoon movie back in 2014 called Wild, based on the Cheryl Strayed book, 2012, also called Wild.
Can't stop thinking about those toenails falling off.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? So,
Spoiler.
to give you a little bit background here on the PCT itself, so it is a 2,660 mile. The exact mileage it shifts a little bit, but it's 2,660 mile trail starting in Mexico, ending up into Canada a little bit. This was started, the idea of it was actually from Catherine Montgomery, who was a school teacher here in Bellingham, Washington, where we're located, our very own backyard. And it was just a weird little coincidence
Yeah, it was
when I suggested this.
1926. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, just this weird Bellingham connection.
I can't imagine in 1926 people being like, oh, let's just go wander into the... I mean, I can, but, at the same time, I'm like, wow, it was such a different time then. And hiking equipment and things like that, you were more out in the wilderness than... We're pretty lucky to have all the tools we need for being out in the wilderness, camping gear and survival gear and stuff. And that's just like, you kind of depended on yourself if you tried to do any of that.
Going out and getting a cup of sugar anymore is like Amazon. You go on to Amazon and you order a cup of sugar. Back in these days, you hiked 2 miles. Like, I'll be back later.
Yeah, that's true.
Tonight for...
I traveled 2 miles barefoot in the snow both ways.
Downhill.
Oh God, the stories of my grandfather. Whole nother show right there. So just that generation have so much respect for. Definitely feel like a weenie compared to all of them.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah. The trail was first established back in the. Based on this idea from the 20s, and just this idea of something that stretched basically from the top of the country to the bottom of the country, and avoiding a lot of already established towns and stuff in the day. So it's an ordeal and a half. The average person takes 5 to 6 months to complete it. That's walking every day. That's making sure that you've got enough food and water.
Yeah. When I was doing my research on this, I saw that there's people they call, when you camel up, you drink as much water as you can getting through those deserty areas, because you might not know when you're going to get your next drink. And that sounds like a terrible time, walking around with a big old belly full of water.
Yeah, and but that's like a thing that they do so they can take weight off.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like running a risk, and it's something they actually say is a risk. It's like, you don't know. Like in the movie and in the book, she is like, oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna worry. I'm gonna get water up here. She got to the place and the water was empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, whoops.
And then she's like, hey, can you help me? I need food. My stove isn't working, and I don't know how to make it work. And
So definitely check out the movie and the book. Both are wonderful in their own ways. Called Wild, and it's an introspective of a woman rebuilding her life. A lot of people go to the trail just for this, is to kind of find themselves and kind of put a reset button into their lives. It's, if you complete the whole thing, which is called a through hike, you belong to a fairly limited clientele, an exclusive list. Back in 2015, 641 people, which in the scheme of things seems like a lot, but really isn't. It's a pretty exclusive little club to belong to be a through hiker.
Well, and then there's there's section hike, skipping, there's tons of different types of...
Yeah, section hike is when you, I'm going to hike from here to here, just a small section. Mm-hmm. Or a skip hike is where you hike for a bit, maybe you have to turn back because it's snow or whatnot, so you come back another year and you start in the same spot.
And it's not like you're not like chickening out. But
right.
Yeah, it says forest fires, snowpack, it's bad, or fatigue, of course. Then you're like, I have to give up.
Right, because you really can't. The first guy who did this back in 27, I believe, he hiked it with no support, with no what they call trail angels or anything like that. He carried everything he needed, hunted what he needed, the whole stretch by himself. These days, you get supply runs. You run into you'll get to a town and maybe there's a box that you had mailed to yourself, waiting for you with money or a resurge and dehydrated food and things like that.
Frequent places now where you can stop, and luckily get your supplies if you run out.
So it's still an extremely hard ordeal. And one that I'm always like, oh God, that would be, I could do it, maybe. I could do it, maybe.
I could try to do it.
I would definitely try. But going into the things like the through hikers and the trail hikers and the things like that, the hiking itself, and especially the PCT, long hikes have their own terms, have their own glossaries. And so, some of the things I wanted to cover in here, like a 0 day, which is where you don't make any mileage. You stop in a town, maybe you stop at a river or something like that, and you just hang out. A Nero, which is a near 0 day, maybe you only hike a couple miles because you hung out in town. As you were talking about camel up, Trail magic, unexpected generosity from a non-hiker. A lot of people talk about that. Yogi, this one comes up a lot in the book too. A means of obtaining help or supplies from a non-hiker, often without directly asking. So almost kind of a bartering.
Like tell them, oh, I'm here doing the hike. Oh, cool,
Right.
yeah. Oh, well,
Do you want this?
you want this, and I have this book that's really nice. How about we?
Right. And then, no, that's Andy. He wants to get
God.
attention.
Could you
Damn
stop?
it, Andy.
I can't handle this.
So yeah, and then there's I wanted to go on here to the Trail Angels and how it ties into what was also called Hiker Heaven. Trail Angels are getting help from someone on the trail, and there was Jeff and Donna Safle in Agua Dulce, California. And up until 2015, they opened their house to like 50 people a day, their house in their yard.
Yeah.
And they provided like 6 laptops, for access to internet. There was porta potties, there's food, all this stuff. And they just helped anybody, donations please kind of thing, but no cost. And they just wanted to do it. It was something that Donna had started and said, hey, this is something that really means a lot to me. It kind of fell into her lap. And then when she started, she was like, oh my God, yes, this is who I am. And so they did it up until recently, and then it was just getting too much. They were getting some flack from the town, for attracting too many, because not everybody loves the PCT.
Too many riffraffs are coming through, and they smell bad, and they're hobos, and they
smell horrible.
Well, yeah, you're camping, you're living in the wilderness for 6 months, yeah, and bathing is kind of hard to do when you don't really have.
And there are bad apples they'll wash up in like in a restroom and then just leave it slathered in mud.
Yeah.
Or they will, there's been slight cases here in stealing or just bad mouthing someone that won't let them stay on their land for free. And so there's this kind of entitlement. I mean, that's going to happen with anything. So unfortunately, Hiker Heaven shut down and then has reopened. So that's really cool that, now it's just on a more limited basis. They're probably going to be a little bit more careful. But I'm all for that. I mean, it sucks that you have to, be, tiny with your generosity. But at the same time, it's understandable because people take advantage of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People ruin it.
Right.
What do they do?
They ruin it.
Okay.
Just needed to check in. All right.
Ruin.
I thought she said ruin.
No.
They need to ruin it.
Yeah.
Ruin it.
They take their
Ruin.
bones and they throw them out and they
Yeah,
write
like
the
the
symbols
runes.
on them. Right.
They ruin it.
What do you think we're talking about? Come on. That's how the Vikings used to do it.
Exactly.
They would ruin everything.
It's been ruined. Ruined.
So then one of the other key fun things it's not tied to the
That is my least favorite word on the screen, and there should be
moist.
That's why I'm laughing.
Just
moisture.
We're talking
Don't
about
like.
trail names on the PCT. So trail names are something that happens with a lot of long outdoor activities, things like this.
What happens on the trail stays on the trail. You gotta have a name.
Moist.
Ugh. No.
So many people have a problem with that word.
Don't like
I
it.
love it. So yeah, trail names. This is kind of it's part of that whole reinventing yourself, and some of the rules are you can't give yourself a trail name, so you can't be like I'm Hawk Hunter, or anything like that.
I am Little Leaf.
Right,
Blow through the wind.
Watch how I soar. Oh, snap! Not too late. Sorry.
I was a
Wash.
dry one, and it crumbled when somebody stepped on me with their boot.
But you don't have to keep the name that you're given. So if somebody comes up and calls you Cupcake, you don't have to keep it. You can be like,
Cupcake, that lovable scamp.
Everybody loves Cupcake.
Well, most people love cupcakes.
You know why?
Why?
Cupcakes are moist. Yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's good. I'm not a nice thing. So you can say no, and you have to, but you can't give it. Some people say you can give one to yourself if you've been hiking long enough. You earn the right.
I was reading through some of the comments, which are never 100%, but on people commenting about the trail name thing, and they were saying that well, if you have a trail name and it's not made if you have a trail name and they don't approve it, and I'm like, who approves a trail name that's some random
trail
stranger?
name association.
Is that a thing?
No.
I was like, that's not a thing. Like, that seems. How would you even enforce such a thing?
Yeah, it's kind of that stupid, like there are rules but not rules around it. So no, it's open. I mean, people have given them themselves, but it's one of those things. I think, like, if I went, I wouldn't give myself. I would wait to be named.
Wait. Yeah.
And it would probably be something horrible. I've had horrible nicknames in the past that I've embraced totally.
Well, it's like the lady in the
Redbeard.
Redbeard. I've never been called Redbeard. Yeah, Preacher and Ellen.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Ellen.
Oh wait, was it Ellen? Who is the blind, deaf, mute lady?
Helen.
Helen.
Keller?
That was my name.
Keller?
Yeah, Helen Keller.
I was thinking
it was just Helen, not Keller, but yeah,
like
I was
Ellen, Dory.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, it was Helen because I was working at a pizza place and I kept bumping into stuff and dropping stuff all the time, and they say like, "What are you, Helen?" And every time I lost my name tag like 7 times, so they finally printed a one up that said Helen, and I couldn't lose that thing for the life of me.
Of course.
So I embraced
not.
it. So people would look at me and be like, "So your name's Helen?" "Yeah, boy named Sue." "What?" Yeah, but going back to the trail names, some of the things, some of the ones coming across, like Achilles Shark Rider, Apache Pepperflake, Crazy Horse, Giardian Angel. Oh God. You know how they got that one. So one of the things we'll come back to, or we'll cover a little bit here in a bit, is things that are more dangerous than bears, and is Giardia.
Yeah.
So that's Giardian Angel is how I should have said that.
Gosh.
Yeah. So pity the poor person who has Giardia on the trail.
Toolbox.
Yeah.
Coyote,
Ugliest cheerleader.
Roadkill.
Skedaddle.
Naturally caffeinated. That person must have been very fun.
All the time.
Or maybe they were the opposite. Porsche. Ugliest cheerleader, yeah.
Girly girl. I would want the name girly girl.
Devilfish.
So yeah, I mean, just there are all sorts of trail names out there. If you join like the Facebook Association for like the PCT every year, kind of like a high school, they have like class of 2016 is going on right now. You sign up as your trail name, and so it's cool. You get if you're following someone on the trail, you can see they're ahead of you. So it's just like, oh, Red Pony, I'm catching up to him, and so when you meet them, you're like, oh, Red Pony, and you actually give up your real name, or you want to, as much as so you are this whole new persona.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. What happens on the trail stays on the trail. You can't let the real world know what really happened. Some people might do some crazy, shifty stuff when they're in desperate times without food or water.
Well, or do stuff where like it's not going to come back to you.
Yeah. Or have a little fun.
Exactly.
See, that's the one thing I'm wondering. It's like, God, these nasty, dirty, stinky people are all hooking up, maybe too, on the trail.
Trail sex?
Greasy trail sex.
That's like a band name.
Next band, Andy.
That's right, Greasy Trail Sex.
Pinch the tip.
That's the name of the first album. Greasy Trail Sex. Pinch the tip.
Oh, God.
Coming to you now. So yeah, and yeah, I think it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the anonymousness of the internet.
Yeah.
You embody yourself, and that's who you are, and it's a whole different you.
Well, yeah, nobody knows you, so you just get to be whoever you want. You
reinvent your history.
You'd be like, I feel like being an asshole this time I walk the trail. Let's see how that goes. Like when you play a video game and you can choose to be like nice to villagers or like an asshole. It's like the same thing.
It's funny because I always play nice, but I'm an asshole in real life. But I always play nice in video games. I'm like the super most freaking boring vanilla character.
That's always when I want to be mean. See.
Yeah. So going over to the next thing we said we're going to talk about here, which is dangers on the trail.
Danger.
From a wonderful article, 17 Things Scarier Than Bears on the Pacific Coast Trail. This was published back in 2014 by Mac. I'm wondering if it was Mac the Wizard.
Mac the Wizard.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of bounce back and forth on these things. So the first one, Brittany, what do we got here?
We got lightning.
Yeah. Some scary videos with this one, too.
I believe it because lightning struck in my dad's backyard one time and it hit a tree, which went to the horse fence, which hit the dog fence, which connected to the house, which exploded the alarm system off the wall inside the house.
Holy Mother of God.
Yeah, it split the tree like down the side. It was, I didn't believe my brother, but I was like, the evidence is so clear that something from the earth, something shot down from the sky and it made this tree explode.
Back in my day, since I'm the old one here, and all the other people that are listening back in my day, all the other people listening are rolling their eyes that the 39-year-old saying they're the oldest. My aunt, who's like 60, is always just like, shut up. But anyways, we had one of those corded phones, the coily corded phones. You could not talk on the phone during a lightning storm. There were people who got killed because you'd put it up your head and it's a wire and
I had a corded phone when I was little. I feel like I remember that.
Was it one of the ones you like drug and it had little eyes on it and ding, ding,
oh,
ding,
eyes.
Ding, ding. No, little play school thing.
Oh, like from like Toy Story, yeah.
So there's an awesome video on this. We tracked down the article. This will be up on our website too, about a guy on the PCT, and his choice was he was in an open field, which you don't want to be in. So the only other choice he had was the forest, which you don't want to be in. So he's like, I don't know where I should be, and he's on the video, and it's hitting close.
Oh my gosh.
To him. He's freaked out because what can you do? Nothing.
Hide nowhere.
You don't want to burrow in the ground because it hits the ground. You're catching the insulation,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, nothing you could do about that. Unmarked trail junctions.
Yeah, that'd be fun to get lost while you're out in the wilderness. Kind of lost already.
I've done, and just on Oyster Dome, hiking Oyster Dome, getting to the top, and my brain's kind of fried. I'm just like, and then someone had torn down the mark, and I'm just staring at it for a while going, even though I knew which way to go, I was like, I don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, freaked me out. So I just started walking, and I was doubting myself for a while. Just like until I saw somebody else. I was like, am I on the trail for Oyster Dome? Yes, you're fine. Okay, good.
I know that I recently just did go to the Oyster Dome, and probably like 3 weeks. I guess not that recent, but like 4 weeks ago, a month ago.
Time
seems like
relative.
yesterday. Yeah, and I got lost. Because I couldn't. It's not very clearly marked.
No, it's not.
It's like it's somewhere that direction. Go that way.
And
sure.
The Chuckanuts, not being any kind of PCT, are very honeycombed, and there's a lot of little turnoffs here and there.
Yeah.
So it's
people make their own trails, and then they're like, "Hey, come on this way, my buddy and I have the secret pathway to your death," or it's fine. It'll be fun.
I feel like I hike differently than you. Or at least with different people.
I just bring the dogs so they pull me up the hill.
Oh, good. All right. What's the next one, Brittany?
Oh, we got bees. I've seen people who are allergic and not allergic being stung by a lot of bees at one time. And if you're not allergic, it doesn't matter. You get stung by enough of those things, you get very, very...
dead?
Dead, yes.
Okay. Or painful, or
painful, swollen, all the awful things.
Yeah, and unfortunately, these things really pick up on you.
Oh, they.
Yeah, we got food, sweat. They really start just feeding off that stuff. They know it's a well-traveled path, so there's hives built around.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I worked in the berry fields, and we'd go on the picker and we'd hit a beehive, and the driver would just be like, all right, duck and cover, because literally you're going like less than walking speed through a beehive with shakers and pounders, and it's loud, and all the things are going through the branches and the vines, and it's bees. I got stuck on the eyelid once. It was awful.
Wow.
Anyway, bees.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like them.
Just no. Next we have Giardia. Yes.
Yuck.
So what I know of this is from Humane Society work and working around dogs and things like that. Always having to keep myself sterile to make sure that I didn't take anything home with me. But can you explain what Giardia is, Brittany?
No.
With all your training.
I can't. I don't. I literally don't really know what it is.
Well, this is an intestinal parasite.
I work in the healthcare system, but I don't know what it is. I'm sorry.
Well, luckily this isn't something you don't see on a daily basis anymore.
No.
You see it in, unfortunately, a lot underdeveloped countries and stuff because it comes from mostly from water, from unsterilized water.
The parasites, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
yeah, sometimes in some certain instances in food and things like that. But yeah, so this stuff will mess you up. And unfortunately on the PCT can be almost fatal because one, it leads to diarrhea and dehydration, intestinal cramps, things like that. Your body starts becoming starved for water, so all your other muscles start cramping. You lose brain activity.
You're being attacked by like your own body as it's starting to shut down, and that totally brings on the confusion, and your body's just like,
so if nobody's around, and because you're out in an area with cell phone ring working most of the time, this is something that you could recognize early. If you recognize early on, I mean, it's very rarely fatal these days because they catch it and all they have to do is hydrate you and you work your way through it. And they give you some antibiotics and you're
some people just like aren't smart and don't pay attention to their body, and then bad things happen.
Right.
So you always have to be like aware, like, oh, this isn't normal. That's right. Like, I'm having a very hard time right now. Let's investigate that.
We live in a
please.
college town. I'm kind of surprised we don't have more Giardia happening on the campus. Just like, I look like I should drink that.
No.
So that's that one's gonna bleed us quickly into the next one, which is sun and dehydration. You're walking through Death Valley for parts of it. California, you got to plan the PCT very carefully to avoid snowpack, in the higher elevations, but also to make sure you're not walking through at, blazing temperatures, because there's a lot of it. You could be walking by yourself without seeing a person.
I can't imagine walking through a desert. That's the part that I'm thinking. I'm like, I would probably die just doing that.
I opened the door, I died.
I don't like moisture. I feel like there'd be a lot of moisture.
That's how much she hates the word moist. She just avoids it naturally, too.
Yes.
So the next thing we got here is plants. Poodle dog bush. First I'd heard of it. Apparently just like a rash-inducing, poison ivy, stinging nettles kind of thing.
I actually have a
bunch of
little book of what's good for medicine, what's good for natural plants and stuff for hiking, and it's really old, and I'm like, this is either really good or really bad because it's really old and I don't know which one.
Poodle dog bush in there.
I'll have to find it and show it to you.
So yes, butt chafe, that's another thing.
That one made me laugh. I was like, it's probably so real.
I'm sure we all know what that is. After you walk quite a bit, it can lead to sores.
I'm going to be in North Carolina next week. I'll probably find out what butt chafe is.
Powder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baby powder. All about it.
Gold Bond.
Gold Bond. There you go.
I like the medicated stuff. It kind of has a cooling tingle.
Well, and especially
very knowledgeable.
For guys too.
I work on roofs in the summer when it's.
You dust the back, you dust the front. You
take care of what needs to be taken care of.
That's right. It'll take care of you later. We got mosquitoes. We got bicyclists, cars, because some of the PCT is on the road. Unleashed dogs, because people are just letting their dogs run about. Man-made hazards. So a lot of people, I was just talking to somebody today about the PCT, and they're like, oh, it's probably, most of it's beautiful. I'm like, there's actually a lot of pollution you walk through. Some are drain culverts and things like that. It's not, the majority, 8% of it's in the wilderness, but there's a lot through man-made stuff. So
I was wondering about that because I did watch some of the movie today, almost all of it, but not that I didn't like it. I just got caught up doing other things too. But she was walking through some areas, and I guess she was doing the on and off again type of thing because she would go into town and stuff.
And she was a section hiker. She wasn't a through hiker.
Yeah. So I was just like, what is happening right now where she's walking? That's the part I bet it's better to read the book, because then you're not like, why is she in the city now?
It helps to read the book a little bit to give it a context, but it's something that all PCTers do. They hop down in the city, they got to pick up their packages, resupply, stuff like that. But this list was kind of surprising to me. Asbestos, high voltage cables, and unexploded military ordinances. Everything a growing boy needs.
No.
Because there's just areas you're going to walk through that
the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. This one I could attest to, like going, you know what? I can camp out in the wilderness later. Like in my 20s, did it all the time. Late 20s, tried it. Boogeyman killed me.
Really?
Everything's snapping in the woods. It was just like,
go.
God, nope, I can't be here. Because I was off in Montana by myself in this tent, and nobody knew where it was. I was like 10 miles back on a dirt road. just one of those.
When I was 18, I went camping with a group of friends, and the day before we left to go camping, we decided to be really, really intelligent to watch the Blair Witch Project. It was a rough week. It was a rough week.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a story about that. I'll cover another time, Blair Witch Project and how it ruined a date for me.
Poop.
Yes, poop is another one of those things,
Poop.
not just like the date. Poop, snow, cows, and snakes complete the list. Yeah, cows can be...
Cows will charge you.
Cows mess you up, man. I was scared of cows growing up as a kid. My grandfather had a farm, and just them thumping their way towards you. No, thank you. So tying back here to the PCT, so there's we've covered some trail names, we've covered the history, we've covered, some of the hazards you might face out there. Interesting enough, tying this back to Bellingham, when we were coming up with this subject, it wasn't like, let's find something Bellingham related.
Yeah,
we actually weren't looking for something Bellingham related. This just happened to me. I just mentioned, I was like, hey, we should do the PCT. I don't know why. I think because I was just about to rewatch the movie. So instantly, like finding out that the PCT was suggested by a Bellingham woman. And then back in 2013, a Bellingham woman held the record for the fastest trail hike of the PCT, which again, for the average person, 5 to 6 months. On hers, 60 days.
What?
Yeah. No one told her that
That's
stopping was an option, apparently. It's like, oh, you can stop. You can sit down. What?
I'm just going to walk.
I'm just going to keep going. But then... we only held the trophy for 1 year. 2014, 23-year-old Joe Stringbean McGonaghy. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Who was a recent college grad who grew up in Seattle, so Washington still, I guess, holds it for a little bit. He did
hippies.
the 2,660 mile in 53 days, 6 hours and 37 minutes. He was a trail runner, and... he's nuts.
I see people doing that at the Oyster Dome while running up those hills, and I'm just like, why you gotta do that?
Made me feel bad.
I'm walking and doing my exercise, and you're just sprinting past me.
I'm hitting those switchbacks, stopping. And I was like, all right, talk to you later.
I don't like to stop when I hike. I'm like, no, I've committed to this. We are stopping when we get to the top.
Gotta get through the whole thing.
I just want to be done with this part so I can walk pretty stuff on the way down.
Also, kind of the annuals of craziness, we got people who are triple crowners who do the PCT, the ACT, which is the Appalachian Trail, and then what was the third one? Do you remember?
The third one is Appalachian Trail. So we have Appalachian Trail,
Continental,
Continental Divide.
There you go. So 3 trails, totaling almost 7,000 miles. You do all of those, you're a triple crowner. You do all of them in 1 year, which has been done by, I can only find 2 people. Nobody else since then. They do it all in 1 year.
Yeah, and that's the calendar.
The calendar triple crowner. Yeah. So that one's the super exclusive club to go for.
These people must get sponsors.
They do. A lot of them are quitting like large jobs or taking a break and getting sponsored, raising money and awareness and things like that. So there's a lot of other trails. Again, all this will be on our websites. That'll be going up. But definitely through hiking isn't just PCT. It's the Appalachian Trail, which is on the East Coast. It's the Continental Divide, which is the middle. We got one that goes from coast to coast. There's one in Spain that was done for the pilgrimages. That's incredible. There's a Emilio Estevez movie with starring Martin Sheen's dad about walking that trail, and it's an actual pilgrimage and meeting people along the way. And so through hiking is, it's something that people do to reinvent and find themselves and center themselves. So I love that concept. I don't find that a much amount of spiritualism on Oyster Dome, which is only like 6 miles.
Yeah.
But I take what I can, I suppose.
Hit up any trail, clear your mind. That's what I do. It's the best.
Oh, it's wonderful. Absolutely. So that's going to wrap us up here on the PCT, Pacific Coast Trail. Thank you for joining us on Put It In Your Head. This is our first inaugural episode. I'm very excited for the future. Brittany?
Very excited. Thank you so much for listening. And we
are not out yet. No, I got to drop the marketing.
Drop the marketing. That's
Just like
right.
this. That's right.
Do it.
So check
Drop
us
it
out
when
on
it's hot.
Facebook. You got to make sure find us there. That'll link to a lot of the things we got going on. We're going to be posting up on SoundCloud. We're going to have a YouTube channel going on as we videotape on location. We go out and interview, go haunted houses, all this crazy. Oh, I love it. Super excited.
We will videotape that because I probably will scream a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a scaredy cat,
that's
but
why
I
I'm
love
doing
it.
it. So we're going to throw spiders at her. Yeah, and find us on Twitter. Find us... the Gmail is PIIYH@gmail. Easier thing is find us on Facebook. That'll link to everything else. We'll have an Instagram going up, a couple other things, here and there. But find us there. Suggest us some shows to do. What's a topic you'd like to learn about? What kind of things would you like to put fools in the path of? Because we're your fools.
We are the fools.
Yeah, and let us put it in your head.
That's right. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks so much.